This video is brought to you by Madhaus Collectibles. Hey everybody, welcome to Transformers Masterpiece Theater. I'm the Rusty Mechanic, and as if in anticipation of this guy right here, my basement decided to spring a leak in the foundation and take on water. But that's not why you're here. We're here to talk about this chunky little monkey right here, FT-45 Spindrift, aka Seaspray from the G1 cartoon. Let's get into it. Overall, Spindrift looks really good. He's got some really good shelf presence, as you would call it. I did find that he felt a bit lighter than some of the more recent Fans Toys offering. Doesn't have the same heft or weight as Sheridan or even Dune Runner, which is a little surprising given the size of the vehicle mode. Most of the time, I find the Fan Toys figures, when you get them in their alt mode and then you go to pick them up, they kind of feel like a brick. But I didn't get that sense with Spindrift. He does seem to be a lot lighter, and that sort of speaks to the lack of die cast that is throughout the figure. There isn't a lot of die cast in this guy. I noticed that it's only in the knees. He does feel solid though, like every Fan Toys figure. You know, do the shake test. Obviously nothing moving around there. So really good feel to the figure overall. The what is nice though, even though there is a lack of die cast, is this entire assembly here. The propeller shoulder assembly here is completely die cast and painted. Speaking of the propellers, they do move, as you would expect. Other than that, there's not really much to say about this guy, only because he doesn't really have a lot going on. Nothing good or bad to say about it in either direction. He's a decent figure. He looks good. He feels good. And I have no complaints about him. You know, just quickly, back's very nice and clean, very nice and flat. Everything's tucked away. Can't really see anything from the front, right, for his backpack when you're looking at it. So again, very good shelf presence when you are looking at him from this position. Typical Fan Toys paint applications are really solid, really nice looking, bright, vibrant colors. He is painted from top to bottom in both modes. The blue and the white actually have sort of a metallic finish to them. You can actually see like metallic specks in the paint when you get really close. The yellow is more of a semi-gloss, not really a metallic finish, but again, it pops right off the figure. Even the propellers are painted, might be hard to see in the camera, but they're like a gunmetal, a really dark gunmetal, almost black. But they've got a metallic finish to them as well. Again, if you get up close and look, you can see the little metallic specks that are in them as well. We'll take a look at the head sculpt. Head sculpts, I mean, very simple. There wasn't, again, much to Seaspray in the cartoon in regards to a face, right? He had a flat faceplate, helmet, head. The eyes are a light chrome color, almost matches the paint on the shoulders on that, but it's got a chrome finish to it, so again it pops out the face when you get the right lighting onto it. And around his eyes, his face is again a dark gunmetal gray, almost the same color as the propellers, but a little bit lighter. And he actually comes with a second alternate face, or head actually, so a complete headpiece. This one is more towards the toy, and as you can see, it doesn't have any eyes. It's just flat gray, gunmetal gray, in where the eyes should be, but there are actually no eyes, so it's just sort of a flat face and then grilled mask. And this is closer in line with the toy than it is with the cartoon. So the one that comes on the figure matches his cartoon, while the additional one matches the one that it more closely matches what came with the original G1 toy. But if we look at his cartoon rendering and we look at these two helmets, or these two head sculpts, sorry, what you'll notice is the cartoon rendering looks closer to this head sculpt, but the face doesn't match. And then if you look at the one that comes on his on the figure, the face matches, but the helmet doesn't, right? So the cartoon rendering has this more rounded shape with a more narrow front to the top of the helmet here, whereas on this one it's a little broader, a little flatter, a little more square. So the face matches the cartoon, but the head doesn't, and here the head does, but the face doesn't. So it's almost like you could, and some people have commented on this, you can take this faceplate off and swap it for this one. Now I did this, and I will, later on next week I'm going to do another video on this with my thoughts, musings, and tips video, where you'll be able to see exactly what that looks like. Same thing with his alt mode. There's really not much to say about his alt mode. Really, the only details that stick out are these little fans that are here on the top, right? Part of the hovercraft mode. Quick size comparison for his robot mode. Here's FT-41 Sheridan, MP-47 Hound, and MP-27 Ironhide. And let's take a look at Mike Lorber's G1 size scale chart. In the chart, looks like Seaspray is at about Hound and Warpath shoulder, somewhere around the waist of Hound. If we go back and look at the size comparison picture, looks like Fans Toys kind of made Spindrift a little bit too short. His head is actually below Warpath and Hound's shoulder, and below the waist of Hound, so not quite to scale this time. And a quick size comparison for his alt mode. Again, here's FT-41 Sheridan, MP-47 Hound, and MP-27 Ironhide. Just a quick reminder, everybody, if you do enjoy these videos, please make sure to hit that like button down below. It sure helps out a lot. And make sure you hit the subscribe to my channel button over here and hit the little bell notification icon so you don't miss any videos when I upload them. And if you want to support the channel, please check the link in the descriptions down below. You can buy me a coffee. Check the link down below for more information. So just quickly go over the cartoon accuracy as well for his robot mode. Very well done. I mean, almost exact. Chest is a little squarer than the cartoon, right? The cartoon seems to be a little more rounded off at the top. You got the lines and the details around the propeller assembly, right? So you have the lines that are going on here around the pontoons and the squares, again matching the cartoon. Circle details in the shoulders, circle details down here in the knees, again matching the cartoon. Really, really well done looking at those details. The alt mode, this is perfect. You have all the lines, you have the yellow striping, the white area where the bridge of the cabin is, propeller in the back again, right? The line details, the squares, all of the line details that are going up and down to sort of make up the pontoons. I don't think we could ask for anything else. Let's talk about his articulation. So, it's okay. Some people may have wanted a little more articulation than what you're getting in this guy. It's typical Fan Toys articulation. To me, it's fine for the size of this figure, the amount of articulation that we're getting. So let's just go through it. The head's on sort of a ball joint. It's more of a pivot joint. You can get the 360 degree around. You do get a little bit back, you do get a little bit forward. You do not get the left to right, and that's just based on the way that it's designed for the head swap, because the two halves separate away from each other, so it's actually just on a pivot joint more than it is a ball joint. Shoulders, you get 360 degrees all the way around, no problem. You'll also get it to swing out way past 90 degrees. Elbows, only 90 degrees. You do get a bicep swivel. Wrist rotation is very limited. You only get about that much in either direction, and that's due to the hinge points that are here as part of his transformation. Fingers are on a single pin right here. All of the fingers are together, so they all rotate out together. They're not individual. Again, that's just due to the size of the figure, and the thumb is in a fixed out position. So he does have a waist swivel. You will get about only about, I'd say about 30 degrees on either side, but if you do lift his chest plate away from his body a little bit, you can get a full 360 degree rotation. Legs are on a universal ball joint, so you will get the typical, you know, full Van Damme left and right. He does have a hip plate here in the front, which you can move out of the way so that you can get 90 degrees. You can hear that ratcheting. And he does go back, but only about 45 degrees back. It does hit on the back of his waist here. You do get a thigh swivel with the universal joint, but you'll only get about 45 degrees. Not really much in, just 45 degrees out. Knees are also ratcheted, and they are nice and stiff. Get a little, slightly past 90 degrees, not too much. And then his feet, again, as part of the transformation, it's got a lot of pivoting going on in here, but you do get a lot of movement back and forth with his feet. There is no rotation out at all. I'll just straighten out his legs just as you can see. So there's no rotation out at all. But he does have about a 30 degree rotation in. So again, when you're doing wide leg poses, lots of angles to go with for his feet. We'll take a look at the accessories. Nice and simple, nothing excessive. Like I talked about before, it comes with the additional head sculpt that is more closely aligned with the original G1 toy and these two pistols, and that is it. Take a close look at the pistols. So not very nice. It does have a lot of neat little details in it. Seems to be painted like a flat gray. Very cool. And the pistols have the typical tab on either side to go into a slot on the hand. One on either side means it can go in either hand. Of course, two pistols that oops. That totally makes sense. And you can't really see it because it's actually built into the hinge, but there is a tab space that's back here, so you just have to make sure that you've got the hand fully open. And slide it in past his thumb and squeeze it into place. Close the fingers around the handle, and one pistol in hand. And like I talked about before, so you can swap the head. You actually need to remove the screw in the back of the head to do the head swap. So for his alt mode, he actually doesn't have any accessories. What he does have is a whole bunch of weapon storage for two pistols. They can go in various places. They can go in two spots up front, and they can also go into a spot on either side. Looks like this. For the front, you just have to flip up these panels or these little tab areas. There we go. All right, so once you get those two open, the handle just fits down into the hole with the two tabs going in on either side so that it looks like that. Nice and simple. The other spot is back on the sides, like I said, so you just have to flip up these side panels on either side, which then allows you to drop the pistols in sideways. Again, handle facing in, and the tab goes into the open area. And there's a tab spot in there, and then you can just close the side panel down. Same thing on the other side. There's a slot in there for the tab and the handle. Bring the panel down on top of it, locks it into place, and then it ends up looking like that. Very cool stuff. And then the only other accessory or feature that he does have is on the bottom is he actually has these four wheels that are on the bottom of the alt mode, so that you can actually roll them around if you wanted to.
That's it, everybody. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Sure helps out a lot. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And please check the links in the description. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link in there for buymeacoffee.com that you can use to support the channel. Also in the description are links to Madhaus Collectibles for all of your Transformer needs, and Mike Lorber, who's a graphic designer. He's the one that created the size scale chart that I use in my videos. Once again, thanks a lot. This has been Transformers Masterpiece Theater. I'm the Rusty Mechanic.